So, hi Pirbhat. Thank you for
So,
taking out the time for us, and we would like you to introduce yourself, and then we'll be moving on towards the questions.
okay. So my name is Pirbhat Haddad, and I study BBA. I'm in my seventh semester now. On the side, I've been creating content for years now. I started when I was in school, and it's like the last year of my university, and I've been, on all major platforms for all these years. So that's mainly what I do, and that's, I believe, the reason why we are here together.
All right. So, we'll be asking you the questions now. For the first one, it's about your media presence.
Mhm.
So, how did your media presence evolve, and can you also share your journey with us?
Okay. So, when it comes to creating content or generally with what I do, I mainly dance. So it started when I was in school and I was in my, let's say, sixth, seventh grade. And it was not common around me, obviously, because
Right.
yeah, the dance is nowhere to be seen here. People don't do it. If somebody does it, then it may act as some sort of, I can do it. But if it's very alien to you, then it's far fetched. But then
Right.
why it was, why I was attracted to that was because I was spending a lot of time consuming content. So I was on YouTube, that one kid you have in your house who's consuming a lot of content all the time, so they are familiar with it. They can have conversations about it. They know YouTubers, they know dance, they know music. So I was into that, and then I was watching movies also which were about dance. So there were these three movies called the Step Up series. When I saw them, they were like, they influenced me a lot in those early days. And I started mimicking. Initially, you are never original, you start to copy others.
Yeah.
And my biggest influences were Michael Jackson and people like that. I was listening to their music, I was trying to copy their moves, and it was just like that. And I was very much in love with it. Although I was a little secretive in my room all the time, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I was not showing it to my friends. I was doing it in my school, and my friends were like my biggest support. I don't know if they were lying or what, but they were always so supportive. Friends generally roast you. My friends were like,
Yeah.
that's the best. And it's important, like I want to emphasize on this fact that my audience, when it was small, it was very supportive, and that kept, you know that made me going.
Kept you going. Right.
Yeah, so that was the journey. And then, but posting dancing is entirely different.
Yeah.
So to post was obviously a big thing. And but I never saw that as a big thing because I was a YouTube kid. I was seeing people's content, so I tried to make everything as if it was okay, as if it was not a big deal. So I put up my first video on YouTube when I was in school. I was in seventh, eighth grade, and my friends were commenting on it, and they were putting very, very good comments. So I used to just, if you even if you see my early YouTube videos, if you play them, you will see that they're very early, like when a lot of people were not in these domains. So they were helping me grow and within a school and all. And then I joined other major platforms like Instagram and then TikTok. TikTok was never the first platform. It was always, like how you make content for one platform, but then you use it on other platforms. So
Yeah.
TikTok was kind of an app where I was, always making content for Instagram, or if I was making horizontal videos, that was for YouTube, and then republishing it on TikTok. But then TikTok blew up
You've
like
got quite a
crazy.
lot of followers on TikTok.
Yeah, Instagram took that down. Maybe I can briefly share that story. I think it relates to influencer marketing and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it seems like quite a journey.
yeah, so what happened was I had my account for years, for 8 years, and I was growing that. It was all organic. It was like 6, 7 thousand followers, and it was doing really well. But then Instagram took it down one day. This was exactly 1 year before, and the reason was very funny. So it just told me that I was pretending to be someone else, and I was obviously
Oh.
curious. Yeah, so that was the reason that I was getting in my emails. It said that you're pretending to be somewhere else. So to prove that, I showed them all my documents, like all the documents that you have. I don't have, let's say, driving license maybe, but all the other documents, so your passport, ID card, everything. I just showed it to Instagram, and I showed my selfies to it, holding on to papers that said that, things like
But you didn't get it.
yeah, but I didn't try to. But the reason why it took it down was because I briefly maybe mentioned a historical figure, a political historical figure, in a joking way, which Instagram, thought I was trying to, publish, promote hate speech. So it was Hitler, right? So Hitler is someone who we study in books and all, but then
Yeah.
because it's bots, it's community guidelines, stuff like that, which is very
Yeah.
important within every platform. So Instagram bots saw that and they were, furious about it, and then they took my account down. So that's a learning, but it was
Yeah.
hard learning.
Already talked about the challenges that you faced. So, anything else that was something that you faced?
Major thing that happened beside that in my earlier times, in all those days I didn't face as such challenges in terms of people not accepting it. Like, I'm very aware of how dance is perceived. I do not say that it's okay. I do not make it little. It's still a big deal, and people will be like, how people think about it. I'm very okay with it. I really like when people are opinionated and they have their own beliefs, and I in no way mean to rebel or things like that. It's just a fun art form. That's how I see it, and it's good for me. So I want to stay in that domain instead of being trying to persuade people into it. If they had to, they would. It's a natural push that you have towards hobbies or activities. So need to do
Yeah. So
everything.
would you say that? So would you say that your approach towards content creation and to engage your audience is mostly you follow the trends and some of the trending hashtags as well to grow your audience? Do
Mm,
you do that?
I didn't get that.
Like, to sum it up, your approach for the content creation, in order to engage your audience, that's mostly hopping onto the new trends, right?
mm, yeah.
Like keeping up with the trends and using the trending hashtags as well.
Mm. I think both can be done simultaneously. I think with trends, it is posts. With engaging with audience, it could be stories, it could be DMs, it could be stuff like that. So updates, behind the scenes, all those things go in the story section. With I don't think people, when it comes to engaging with them, have any problem with trends, because they too are, uh, they too get algorithm shows them the similar things and they enjoy it, and I get messages of following a trend from my people, which tells me that is something that they want to see. So in that way it is engaging to that audience. But again, only going with trends and not talking to them, not understanding, let's say, what they want to see. For example, if I recently put up a tutorial, so that is not something that is trending, but that is solely for the purpose of engaging with the audience.
Engaging,
So
exactly.
yeah, in between that, I think you need to break down a little and provide value to your audience and create content like that.
Would you give to those that are looking to enhance their social media platforms है जिनको like इस एक तरीके से influencer बनना हो तो आप उनको क्या advice दोगे?
Um, okay, so the first advice, and this is how I think, is when I started, one biggest hurdle that I faced was, you know, being a perfectionist and thinking about stuff like equipment. That is something that all people, whenever I meet people, I say, why are you not posting that, why are you not hitting that publish button? They say that it's not worthy of being published, or I don't have certain equipment, or it doesn't look appear in a certain way like other people have. And honestly, if you study content, if you read content, chances are that a lot of high production content doesn't do well.
Hmm.
Phone content as well. For example, BB Vines or people like that blew up with phone. So what matters is your content. And then also copy people. It's okay to copy people. It's okay to be influenced by it. Nobody can be, original. You can have a little value addition, but mainly it is to, just try to do things. And always, I think it is very easier to be consumed by the idea of likes and comments, and to feel, to be um, in that mindset of not being able to get likes and comments, but then that's the challenge. So I think what's important is, from time to time, you need to remind yourself that it is a process of learning a skill, a hobby. You put your time into it. You have to be your biggest critique. Support people whenever you see their content. Celebrate that, because at the end of the day it is art, and that is what social media is. It, all the downsides, it is, I believe, a great platform to share stories, to teach free, and to just promote art and stuff like that. Yeah.
Exactly, I totally agree with you. So thank you so much, Pribhat, for taking your time out for us. It was lovely talking to you, knowing about your journey.
Yeah, similarly, I had a lot of
And
fun.
we